my dear students, I'm going to present you the agenda for today's class. And as you can see in the presentation, we have number 1, that is welcome. Number 2, social emotional content. 3, content. Number 4, objective. 5, reflection. Number 6, content development. And number 7, we have questions and answers. Now we are going to continue with the class.
Hello, my dear students from 5th graders. How are you today? Welcome to a new English class. Today we are going to continue working on some activities related with your student's book and practice book. These are the books we are going to use today. So we are going to continue with our class, and one more time, welcome to English class. Let's continue.
N. Sun. T. Cat. E. Nest. P. Soap. I. Fish. O. Igloo. E. Wheel. T. O. Tomato. G. E. Orange. C. P. Octopus. M. L. Milk. F. T. Gift.
The content for this class is something related with a reading that we are going to develop. And this content says, The Mysterious Boy. That is what we are going to do. We are going to read and we are going to listen this history. Okay? The objective for this class is to develop reading comprehension strategies. That is what we are going to do. As I was telling you before, we are going to read a history and we are going to follow some reading comprehension strategies. Remember, it's important that you practice this important skill. And then we have the reflection. For the reflection we have, as you can see in the presentation, sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. Algunas veces ganas, algunas veces aprendes. This is the reflection. What do you understand about it? Tell me on this chat. Write your opinion. ¿Qué entiendes de la reflexión? Dime algo en el chat. Voy a estarte leyendo. Okay? I'm gonna tell you my point of view about this reflection. According to this reflection, we say that we have to remember that every day we face new challenges and we will not always win. Although we always want to win. We must think that the important thing is to learn something from the thing, something from the challenges that the life presents us. ¿Cuál es? Que debemos recordar que cada día nos enfrentamos a nuevos desafíos, nuevos retos, y no siempre vamos a ganar, aunque nosotros siempre queremos ganar, pero debemos pensar que lo importante es aprender algo de las cosas. Por muy sencillas que sean las cosas, debemos aprender algo de ellas. Okay? Now, you, what do you understand about it? Tell me your opinion. Now, let's continue with our content.
7. The Mysterious Boy, Episode 3, Part 1.
Livia and Marius were sitting in the courtyard of their house. The only sounds were of the splashing of water in a fountain and the snoring of Salvia in her room. "I don't understand it," said Marius. "Where's Flan?" "I think something terrible has happened," said Livia. She told Marius about the noises she had heard when she was asleep. "But that was a dream," said Marius. "What if it wasn't a dream?" asked Livia. "I think Petronius has captured Flan. He was angry Flan had run away. Maybe he wanted to take him back." "That doesn't make sense," said Marius. "Petronius sold him to Dad. He got a lot of money for him." "Well, I'm going to Petronius's villa. Are you coming with me?" Marius shook his head. "I think you're wrong," he said. "I'm going to search the house and garden again." But Livia knew she was right. Flan was a prisoner, and she had to rescue him. When she got to Petronius's villa at the top of the hill, she rang the bell. Dogs barked on the other side of the wall. A grumpy servant shouted at the dogs and opened the door. He then looked down at Livia. "What do you want?" he asked. "I want to speak to Petronius," she said. "My master's sleeping. He's a very important man. He doesn't talk to silly little girls." Livia didn't like people calling her a silly little girl. "Let me in," she insisted. "Go away," the servant replied. "In that case, I'm going to wake up your master, and then he'll talk to me." So Livia took a deep breath and screamed the loudest scream ever, and Petronius woke up. Half an hour later, Livia was back home in the study. Crispus was there with Marius and Salvia. Petronius was there too. He had put Livia in a wagon and had driven her home. "You must apologize to our good neighbor," Crispus said. "But Dad," protested Livia, "Flan is a prisoner." "No, he isn't," said her father sternly. Salvia discovered that food was missing from the kitchen, and Marius found a message in the boy's room. The message said, "Goodbye. Flan had run away."
Well, after listening the audio related with this history, we are going to complete this page number 44. And the instruction for this activity says, underline the mistakes and correct the sentences. I'm going to repeat again. Underline the mistakes and correct the sentences. Acá lo que vamos a hacer es subrayar el error o subrayar los errores y escribir, en este caso, la oración correcta. ¿Ok? Number 1. Marius decided to go to Petronius' villa. What is the mistake? ¿Cuál es el error? The mistake is Marius. Vamos a subrayar esta palabrita, Marius. Marius. And on this space, what you are gonna write is this. Let me see. I don't know if you could see the sentence. This is the sentence you are gonna write on that space. Esta es la oración que van a escribir en el espacio que tienen ahí, chicos. Take notes. Tomen nota. Livia decided to go to Petronius' villa. Okay. What about number 2? Petronius' servant spoke politely to Livia. Politely to Livia. Number 2. This is the incorrect word. This is the mistake. What you are, esa la van a subrayar, chicos. Esa subrayan. And the correct one is this. Petronius' servant spoke rudely to Livia. Okay. Then we have number 3. Livia ran back to her house. Livia ran back to her house. Here we have the mistake. What is the mistake? This sentence is incorrect. Esa oración, como pueden ver, es incorrecta. ¿Por qué? Porque van a escribir, en este caso, you are gonna write Petronius drove Livia back home. Petronius drove Livia back home. Back home. Okay. Then we have the number 4. Crispus told Livia to apologize to Marius. To Marius. The mistake is Marius. Este es el error, chicos. Marius. Underline the mistake. Subrayen esa palabrita. And you are gonna write Crispus told Livia to apologize to Petronius. Crispus told Livia to apologize to Petronius. And the last one, Flan had left some food in his room. Flan had left some food in his room. The mistake is some food. Here you are gonna underline. En este espacio van a subrayar acá. Some food. And the correct one is Flan had left a message in his room. Flan had left a message in his room. Okay? These are the sentences for this activity. Activity number 1. Okay, now we are going to continue with page number 45 on your student's book.
Track 28. The Mysterious Boy, Episode 3, Part 2.
The weeks passed. Livia and Marius felt sad. Salvia felt lonely. Every time Livia saw Petronius go by in his wagon, she felt embarrassed about her big mistake. But the days gradually returned to normal. One morning near the end of summer, Livia and Marius left the villa while it was still cool. Salvia had made them lunch, which Livia carried in a bag. Marius carried a big stick to frighten away snakes. They walked a long way to their secret place in the hills. It was a beautiful lake surrounded by tall trees. As soon as they arrived, they dropped their things, took off their sandals, and jumped into the clear water. They were both strong swimmers, and they swam to the other side of the lake. After they had dried themselves in the sun, they ran back to have their lunch. But when they got there, the bag was gone. "Something has taken our food," said Marius. "Or somebody," said Livia. She pointed at footprints in the earth. "Human footprints." "Come on," she said. "Let's follow them." They found Flan sitting in a small cave. He didn't try to run away. Livia was so happy to see him again that she threw her arms around him. Marius shook Flan's hand. Then they all sat down, and Livia and Marius asked a lot of questions. "What happened, Flan? Why did you leave? Why did you come here?" Flan tried to explain. On the day he disappeared, he woke up to the sound of hunters with dogs. He remembered the pirates from his past and felt scared. He never wanted to be a slave again. He ran back to the house, but he was frightened there too. He couldn't believe the family really cared about him. He thought his happiness couldn't last. So he decided to leave, be on his own, and look after himself. At least that way he could be free. "But Flan, we never want to lose you," said Livia. "You're our friend," said Marius. "You're more than a friend. You're part of our family now," concluded Livia. And Flan smiled. Livia, Marius, and Flan walked back to the villa in the warm evening light. 3 days later, the whole family traveled back to their house in Rome. During the journey, Salvia held Flan's hand the whole time. Flan didn't mind. He couldn't stop smiling. He was going to his new home.
On page number 45, we are going to answer some questions related with this history. And question number 1, but you are going to tell me, but teacher, we don't have enough space on this book. Algunos me pueden preguntar, pero no tenemos espacio suficiente para escribir las respuestas. Si no les cabe ahí en esos espacios que tenemos, lo pueden escribir en su cuaderno. Si no, pues aquí creo yo que les caben las respuestas. Hagan la letra chiquita. ¿Okay? According to question number 1, it says, why did Livia and Marius go for a long walk? And the correct answer is, or the answer is, to go to their secret place. To go to their secret place. Question number 2. Why did Livia think a person had taken their bag? Because there were footprints. Because there were footprints. Question number 3. Why did she put her arms around Flan? Why did she put her arms around Flan? She was happy to see him. She was happy to see him. Number 4. Why had Flan felt scared when he heard the hunters? I'm going to repeat again. Why had Flan felt scared when he heard the hunters? He remembered his past. He remembered his past. And the last question, that is number 5, here we have, why did Salvia hold Flan's hand? And the answer is, she wanted him to feel take notes. Tomen nota, chicos, de las respuestas. And we say the answer, she wanted him to feel part of the family. She wanted him to feel part of the family. And this is the last answer for these questions. Remember, if you have any question about these activities, you can write me on this chat. Si tienen alguna pregunta, me la pueden hacer saber a través del chat que tenemos habilitado. Okay, now we are going to continue with the last activity that is on practice book. What you are going to do right now? Take out your practice book. Why? Because we are going to continue working on that book. Let's continue. Well, we are going to continue with page number 41 on your practice book. And here we have the 2 exercises that we are going to complete. According to exercise number 1, the instruction says, complete the chart with the characters' names. Vamos a completar el cuadro con los nombres de los personajes. We have Livia, Crispus, and we have Marius, Petronius, and the servant. Okay, now let's do this activity. Well, here we have character and we have the action. Character means in Spanish, personaje. Action es la acción. We are going to read the sentence and you are going to choose one of these names and you are going to write these names in the corresponding spaces. The first, he went to Petronius' villa to look for flan. What is the correct name? Livia. You are gonna write Livia next to this sentence. Then we have number 2. He didn't want to go with Livia to Petronius' villa. For number 2, we have he didn't want to go with Livia to Petronius' villa. The servant. The servant. Then we have number 3. He told Livia to go away. He told Livia to go away. Here you are gonna write Marius. Marius. Number 4. He told Livia to apologize to their neighbor. That is Crispus. Crispus. And the last, he drove Livia home, Petronius. Petronius. Okay, my dear boys and girls, take notes about these names and write in the corresponding spaces. Remember, next to the sentences. Okay, take notes. Complete the sentences about the history. Number 1. Marius thought Livia was wrong because here we are gonna write the complement for each sentence. And here you have the complement for these sentences. What you have to do is take notes. Okay, take notes. I'm gonna give you some seconds. Bien, chicos, les voy a dar tiempo para que tomen nota del complemento de estas oraciones. Okay, take notes. Tomen nota. And we are going to continue with the next page of this practice book. We almost finished the class. Okay? Here we have page number 42. And these are the last activities, the last exercises you are going to complete. We are going to continue with exercise number 1 that says circle 8 adjectives in the word snake and complete the sentences. Here you are going to write the adjectives. Number 1 is embarrassed is number 1. Number 2, important. Important. Then we have sad, scared. These are some of them. We have embarrassed, important, sad, scared. But there are missing more of them. According to the first, the servant was embarrassed. Embarrassed. Esta es la primera que van a escribir aquí. Embarrassed. Tienen que buscarlas de estas palabritas que tenemos acá. Number 2, Petronius was a very important businessman. Important. 3, the servant said Livia was a sad little girl. Sad little girl. 4, Livia and Marius felt scared after Flan disappeared. 5, Livia always felt Number 5, Livia always felt happy when she saw Petronius. Then we say, Livia was really happy again. I'm going to escribir happy here again. Livia was really happy when she saw Flan again. 7, Flan was silly of pirates. And number 8, Salvia felt lonely after Flan left. Lonely. Take notes. Now number 2, read Livia's diary and choose the correct word. Here we have this text. Let's read together. Vamos a leer juntos. After Flan disappeared, I felt sad. One morning or one evening. One evening, near end of winter, I went with my dad into the countryside. Marius carried a big stick of frighten away snakes. We went to our secret place, a big garden. When we got there, we dived into the clear water and swam to the other side. When we got back, we found our lunch was missing. Then I saw some human footprints in the ground. We decided to follow them. We found Flan in a big cave. We walked back to the villa in the evening. A few days later, we traveled back to Rome. Flan came back with us. and Salvia held his hand the whole time. This is the end of this paragraph. Take notes. And the last activity for today's class is related with this. Classify the words according to their function in the history. Vamos a clasificar las palabras de acuerdo a la función en la historia. Okay? We have verbs, nouns, and adjectives. Los vamos a clasificar de esta manera. Verbos, nombres y adjetivos. We are going to start with verbs. Vamos a iniciar con los verbos. One of these words, believe, is a verb. Then we have another verb, true, very good. Another, felt. Then we have another verb, lose, is another verb that we have here. And another verb, drive, is another verb. Then we have adjectives. We are going to continue with adjectives. For adjectives, we have happiness, happiness, frightened. This is another adjective. New, normal, shock. Shock is another warm, then in here, for nouns, arms, we have sandals, hunters, swimmers, human, free, and. Okay, here we have the verbs. Believe, true, felt, lose, drive. Nouns, arms, sandals, hunters, swimmers, human, free, and. Adjectives, happiness, frightened, new, normal, shock, and warm. These are the exercises for today's class. Thank you, my dear boys and girls. Now we are going to continue with the last part of this class. Well, my dear students from 5th graders, the class is finished for today. We are going to continue the next week. And remember, if you have any question about the content we developed today, you can write me your questions on this chat and I'm gonna read your questions, okay? And also I'm gonna answer them. Now, it's all for today. Have a nice day and we are gonna continue the next week as I was telling you before. Bye bye, see you, take care.
just enough to make you smile, and you